The big project for us today, at least for our building today, is our first building in the Marvel District. Now, as you have noticed, and as I've just explained, we've got all these plots for sale for the other Fancrafters. I've gone ahead and kind of carved out myself a little spot right here. I've got two main builds that I want to do in the Marvel District for my personal projects. And so what I've decided to do is to kind of keep it a little bit more simple and to kind of help round it out and kind of frame it up a little bit. I'm doing one of my builds here and one of my builds there. And that way it'll kind of create the perimeter essentially of what will be or what is now the Marvel District. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this build today, y'all. Okay. Did you guess what it is? Did you guess what it is? Did you? No, you didn't. There's no way anybody could have guessed this. So I've been thinking about this, right? We got the Marvel District, and there's obviously great locations. Obviously, you know, we've got the Avengers Tower. I've got a really great location from the films anyway that's going to go over on that side. But I thought, what is something a little bit different? Now, of course, you can go beyond the MCU. You could do something like the X-Mansion or something of that nature, and I have a feeling that we're going to get some mutant-inspired stuff here and there. But for me, I wanted to do something very different. Earlier this year, took the kids to Disneyland. First time. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast. And in Disneyland, they've got the Avengers campus. And on the Avengers campus, they have this really cool Spider-Man themed ride called Web Slingers. Yeah, Web Slingers. Now, this is really, really cool. So what they've got is the Worldwide Engineering Brigade that is run up by one Peter Parker and financed by Stark Enterprises. Has a location on Avengers campus, and it's a really cool, very Spider-Man themed build and building. And it's where Spider-Man, like they've got this like animatronic Spider-Man that like swings every couple of 30 minutes or so. It's so cool. It's so cool. And I thought that is exactly what I want to put in our Marvel District as our first big build. Now, much like my other builds with, you know, the Lars Homestead and Hobbiton, or rather Bag End, it's not going to be like a one-for-one. It's going to be largely inspired, very largely inspired, in fact. And so I think you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I've been looking forward to this, honestly, since we started this season, but it's been the one that's required the most expensive resources. So it's taken a second to get it all ready. But without further ado, let's jump into the building. This is one of those builds that really reminds you it's important to measure twice and build once. Because if you don't do that, you end up building a lot of times. I don't know if you noticed, but the web symbol, like the Spider-Man signal logo. Yes, the web logo here, the little spider logo off to the side, I had to redo that a couple of times. For one thing, I think I had it like too far to the side and I had to like bump it in. And for another thing, even with like the establishing kind of final product shot where we kind of pull back and, the sun goes down, it's really pretty and everything. If you look, one of these arms isn't right. I didn't catch that until after the fact. So I've now corrected it and it looks great. And I'm really pleased with how everything looked, especially this crane. This crane was kind of fun. Like, it's there at the facility in Disneyland and it looks really great. I say Disneyland, I guess it's California Adventure, but it's all the same thing. But anyway, regardless, that's where like the Spider-Man would, he'd be somewhere back there and then he would swing over the edge and then fall over here and then he'd come pop back up and then he'd crawl down and then come by and give everybody a high five on the street. It's cool. If you haven't seen a video of it, I'll try to find one and link it in the description because it's pretty sweet. But for the most part, I'm really glad with how this turned out. Now, it's not totally complete for two specific reasons. One is that the interior is not done at all. However, we are we are able to sell what we are going to sell at this particular shop. You want to take a guess? Guess right now. Put it in the comments. What do you think we're selling here? Huh? What do you think we could be selling here? Well, if you guessed cobwebs, you're correct. That's right. We're going to be selling some cobwebs here, along with probably some other spider bits and whatnot as well. So it's basically a general spider shop, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But, it occurred to me because at the actual experience in Disneyland, the whole thing is a ride, but it's also a game. And so I was thinking it'd kind of be cool if we actually gamified kind of our web space here to some extent. And I haven't quite figured it out yet. And so I'm going to need to mull over that and kind of figure out what makes the most sense. So yeah, the interior is not yet done. And from this angle, everything looks really, really good. But it's the brick section that also needs a little bit of work. Specifically, we need some graffiti. Like, one of the great things about the location in Disneyland is that you've got all of this kind of, graffiti around that essentially tells kind of the story of Miles working at this place. And so like, Miles has brought his own kind of artistic stylings to the walls of the kind of old Stark building that it's attached to. And so I think something like that would be really cool, especially if we had like a big like Miles Spider-Man head face thing here. That would be really great. That's where Avengers Tower is going to be. And over here where these like 4 pillars are, that is where we are putting our PIM headquarters right behind me. So I think this is going to be really good. I'm really excited about this. We've got a lot of building to do. I've got some wings, so hopefully I will not die from falling down as I build this thing. And we'll see how it all turns out. But without any further ado, let's get into the building. So a quick pause from the build video because for one thing, I ran out of supplies. I had to run to the nether and find myself some quartz, but then also because we have somebody new who just popped up here on Earth 4. Let's see, where could she be? There she is! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Sweets to Fancraft. Sweets, welcome. We're not all on voice chat at the moment, but we did want to showcase real quick. This is great. All right, so Sweets is one of brand new fan crafters that is going to be coming here to join us here on Earth 4. And we're really excited to have them joining us here as we work on extending out the Fancraft realm. Now, this is all very last minute. Otherwise, I would be much more prepared. But I wanted to give of our new crafters a bit of a gift, kind of a welcome basket, if you will, because they are coming in, a couple weeks into the realm. We want to help them get a leg up, so to speak. And while I don't have any diamonds at all, like I am still the brokest of all the crafters, I do have iron. I have quite a bit of iron. All right. Let's see. Shaboom, I have this for you. There you go. Boom. Awesome. Sweets, over here. There you go. Yeah, this is the bank. It's so interesting. I've never gotten the opportunity to introduce somebody to our way of doing things. This is kind of fun. All right, let's see. Let's give her the quick tour, so to speak. So over here, this is Tolkien Town. So over here, we got the Star Wars district. It goes all the way to the river right back here. Yeah. Then we have the Marvel district. And then, of course, it is always easy to find your way back because of the Tree of Friendship. It's great. It's wonderful. Oh, yeah, look, Fox is here too. Okay, good. This is great. Oh, it's always awesome to add a new crafter. It's great to have Sweets join the group. Thanks, Fox. All right, but getting back to our build, we've got some significant progress that we have obviously made in the build. Man, that's the beautiful angle right there in terms of the logo, the PIM logo, and all that kind of good stuff. And we've got the sides up and the front up. There's no back. And I mean, you have to trust me because I'd fly around, except just as predicted, I did in fact use up all of my wings in terms of building this. And I have no mending. And I have no diamonds, and that means, I have no wings anymore. But it was fun while it lasted. I've also went ahead and just kind of built an entry room. This is nothing right now. This will kind of be a foyer, kind of a greeting area. And then the back portion of it, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I actually haven't figured out even what I want to sell here or what the purpose of this building is, other than I just really wanted to build this building in Minecraft. The PIM logo in particular is such a difficult thing to pull off in block form. And I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. I am. Also, we got some other issues with this, and that is the whole floating nature of it. We need to solve that, but I need to solve that with snow blocks, and I have no snow blocks. So, still supply locked in all of this. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to get this fixed. We're going to get this worked out. It's going to be great. Oh, I hate to do this, but I do know where there are some snow blocks, and they're not currently being used, and that is for the Avengers Tower. Oh, this probably isn't nearly enough. I don't know. Maybe it is. Look, it's for the good for the Marvel District. Okay, this isn't, like I said, this isn't even going into an actual shop. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, yes, let's get back into the building. Through the miracle of time, it's done. Kind of. I mean, kind of. It looks great. I think it looks great. And let's just not look behind it. Okay, we're just not. There's nothing to see there. There's literally nothing to see there. We're going over here. We're going over. There we go. Look at that. I am very proud and pleased with how this turned out. I know in many respects, it seems like a very simple build. I mean, it's a lot of white. In fact, it actually kind of reminds me of the Hotel Le Pavillon that I made last season. But the logo really is kind of the killer app, so to speak, of this particular build. Getting the PIM logo right in block form is a challenge. I don't care who you are. That is just a challenge. And I think it actually worked out pretty well. So the build site is right here. And what I'm thinking we're going to do today, because there's at least one item that we need for the base of the Avengers Tower that I didn't put down because I figure I'll just go ahead and knock it out. It's easy enough. Because you think about it, like if you look at the Avengers Tower, just go ahead, look at it. Yeah. I mean, it's iconic, right? Like it's a very unique and iconic style. And it's one that you don't really pay attention to what's at the base. In fact, I've looked at a lot of different models and scales, and there's so many different interpretations of what exactly is the base of it that it's really kind of whatever you want. And so I think what we're going to do is kind of like a basic concrete, kind of like corporate style long building at the base, maybe not going up, I don't know, 2 stories at most before transitioning into what is going to be the more elaborate, Avengers style tower build. So we're going to build up the base, I think, today. And yeah, hopefully we'll also be marking these. You know what? Now that I think about it, we need to mark all of these chests so people know where they need to deposit what. Like we may need more of one item than we will of another item. So, we've got kind of a methodology of doing that. We'll see how it works. But anyway, let's go ahead. We'll knock it out. It's going to be kind of a quick one, but let's jump into the building. Now, it may not look like much, but that took up a ton of resources. It really did. But as you can see, it is basically just a square box with a bit of like a door gateway type deal. It's very small. Like it is very, very small. But that's okay because this is really just the platform. The tower itself is going to be the showstopper. And unfortunately, we're not going to get to that today. But we got to start somewhere. And all things considered, this is a great start. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that in the video, there was some horsing around going on, and that is because I found a horse that I really liked that seemed quite fast, and I decided to name him Beta Ray Phil. What's up, Beta Ray Phil? How's it going? So let's head to the Marvel District and get some work done to continue our team build on Avengers Tower. Let's go. After last week, it wasn't much to look at, but I feel like this time you're starting to really see it come together. You know what I mean? Like the general shape is there. It does kind of remind me of, if you've ever seen like a trout or a salmon that's been cleaned and like, you know, with the head off type deal before it goes to a butcher shop. That's essentially what we have here, the equivalent here with this this Avengers tower. But it is coming together nicely. So you've got kind of the tallest portion right there. Then you've got what will be kind of the Avengers, big logo and everything, kind of main office right here. And then it'll extend right out here for the helicarrier pad. But I think it's looking really good. I'm having some trouble figuring out exactly what I want to do about the back. I think I'm just going to land on mirroring what's in the front in the back. It makes the most sense. I was thinking like I just save some materials and just maybe do, you know, nothing but walls, deep slate walls all the way up. But I don't know that that's going to look as nice with our glass area, even though these the floors rather are going to end up, you know, kind of cutting them in half when it's all said and done. But regardless, I think it's looking good. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? We heading in the right direction with this? Put it in the comments if you are enjoying it. I may have been dragging my feet a little bit on this one, mostly because this is the hero image. I mean, this is what it's all about right here. It's the big A. It's all of like the I keep on saying helicarrier, but the Quinjet pad, all that kind of good stuff. That's being built today. It's kind of a big deal, so I'm not nervous. Oh no, I'm not nervous at all. I'm not nervous at all. I'm a little nervous. The big team builds are kind of the ones that people pay attention to. So like, you know, I want to do a good job for y'all. We'll see what you think. I'm hoping it's going to be good. I tell you what, just go ahead and like the video now. Okay? Just go ahead and like the video now. Why not? Just do it. It's going to be great. Surely. But anyway, yeah. So that being said, I'm not even going to get into anything else. We just need to jump straight into this thing and then talk about it afterwards because it's the big one. At least it's the big one for the Marvel District. So there you go. Without further ado, let's get into the building. As I was saying, we're going to be doing a little bit of work here on the web facility. And the whole purpose is that we want to give this thing some life, some action, really kind of give that lived feel and bring some of the spirit of the ride into this portion here. And ironically, that is going to mean bringing it in perhaps a little bit, or maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different. We just need to kind of like just tear everything down in order to build it back up. Now, with kind of this back area that you see over here, I'm planning on dropping some redstone, and specifically some redstone rails, so that we can have some different carts that are moving back and forth with a little bit of like a window right here that you can look in and see that something is happening. What exactly? We don't know. Let's just science. You know, that's what's happening. Science is happening. I've tried this a couple of different ways. Like at one point I had a bunch of like paintings hanging up. I don't even know if that ever made like a video in the background, but like I had some different paintings hanging up with kind of like a little Spider-Man statue with the mindset that, you know, maybe Peter was here and he was working on something and you had all these different monitors that were monitoring what was going on, but it just really didn't accomplish what I was hoping for. This is kind of a bit of a tough build from that standpoint. All right, we're just gonna bring this all in. We're just gonna bring it all in. Start with a full campus. Now, here's the other thing too: is I did think it would be kind of cool to have a little bit of a ride incorporated in some of these builds, especially here in the Marvel District. I've got a concept for the PIM building, which is good because like the PIM building has literally nothing in it right now. And at one point, I thought it would be kind of cool to do that here, but with the mob farm being next door, I'm not quite ready to give that up. I kind of need those drops still. And I don't really have another good place to put it. You know what I mean? Like I could figure out some means of putting a mob farm back behind my base, but then I'd have to light up the entire mountain. And I feel like that would be kind of a little bit of a distraction, especially when you're in the city at night. So I don't really want to do that. Okay, now one thing that will need to be done is we're going to need a place to store, obviously, our stuff that we're selling. And for now, we're gonna kind of keep it simple, right? Like we're gonna put that there, boom, and then we'll throw some of this over here. The funny thing is, normally when you see like cobwebs like this in a in a chest, it typically means like there's literally nothing in it. It's just completely empty. Okay, and we'll put another one right there. Okay, that's good. And so yes, that there, throw that there, and I think that is pretty good. I think. Yes. Now the funny thing is we're actually going to be shrinkening. We're going to be bringing in the walls a little bit, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, and the mindset is it gives us more room back here to play with redstone wise if we want to do something kind of crazy or fun. But sometimes by making the canvas that you're working with smaller, it actually makes it a lot easier to give details because you don't have so much blank canvas that you just have to fill up, right? And so it can make it feel a lot more lived in and have a lot more kind of fun things happening. And actually, I do want to keep the red and blue motif going in here. Now, I actually do like the conveyor belt, like the kind of faux conveyor belt that we've had back here, but I think I want to make it look even more as if something's happening. Like it probably won't move, but we can probably give more of like that idea that things are moving just based off of placement of the chests and where they're going. Like give kind of a destination to them as well. Okay, so we need our window. This is kind of the center. Shaboom, shaboom, shaboom. Now, one thing I've kind of thought about, especially as I revisit some of these old projects, is just the process of just doing the building and the designing. Like, sitting here making the video as I'm doing this and kind of sharing my thoughts out loud as I go. But with this, there's no need for like a time lapse. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to jump into the building or anything like that for this, because a lot of this is really just kind of like train of thought. You know what I mean? Just kind of like working it out as we go along. And it's more of a discussion. So I've kind of wondered, would this actually be kind of cool or better as a streaming video as opposed to doing it, kind of in this recorded and edited way? Like if I jumped on Twitch while I was working on some of these projects, is that something that y'all would be interested to see? Let me know. It might be kind of cool. Something like the PIM building is so boring to look at right now. It needs so much work and I just don't know what to do. So it's going to be so much trial and error that I'm thinking that might just be kind of fun to jump on stream and just see what happens. Maybe even do a little, I don't know. I shudder to say design by committee, but to some extent, maybe design by committee. Okay, so now our room is decidedly smaller. We have done that. That has happened. And I want the conveyor belt. Maybe is it too low if it's here? That's the big question. I don't think so. I think that's right. I think if we do it, Okay, so something like that. We now have the conveyor belt here and going. We'll want to suspend this from the roof. Should be easy enough. Oops, assuming I actually line these up correctly. There we go. And like I said, we want to kind of give the sense that our like crates up here are going to be in motion. So I'm thinking what we do is we kind of have it so that they're literally in motion. Like, well, not literally in motion, but like so that like one of them is kind of like coming through here. For one thing, we're going to face them all going in this direction to kind of imply that this is the direction they're going in. And then, yeah, maybe something like that. Now that obviously can't be opened up because it's leaving, but yeah, look at that. Look, just by facing them in this direction and putting some through the walls like that, instantly it already communicates that something is happening, that there's like action going on here. We may even put some item frames in front of these with what they might hold, but instead of putting them here, we might put them here. So that could be kind of cool. I've wanted to include things like spider eyes in here. Honestly, I just don't have that many to sell, but I think that would be kind of cool to potentially add. To break up the monotony just a tad, maybe. With some bricks here and there and over here. Maybe over here-ish. Boom, boom. For that matter, we actually probably want to do some of this too, where we kind of break up this monotony more. All right, good. Okay, so this is, all right, this gives it more of like a warehouse type feel, but I think that's kind of fine. Like this is already something of a loading bay, as it were, with the door and everything else kind of going in over here. So I think that works out pretty good. But the main thing is we want this window here to really kind of catch some attention. So this is where the fun redstone is going to come into play. Okay. Okay. All right. Hopefully the white won't like pop too much, but I'm thinking we do like one cart going around here. Right? And another probably going, yeah, we'll put them like one degree of separation and maybe make this one kind of longer so that it's got a little bit more of like a tail on it. I think that could work. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so we put one here. Oh, I'm going to need 4 of these. Okay, yes. So one here, another one over here. Don't think that's going to mess this up. It might mess this up, but we won't know until we see. I'm just now realizing I'm going to need another one of these powered rails. But for the moment, we can go ahead and lay down the track. And right there. Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. We're going to get our carts here. Although first, let me just look. Is the white going to throw things off? Or maybe that's good because like this is white. Maybe that's actually not a bad thing. Because it kind of adds to the kind of the conveyor belt look. Okay. All right. That's not terrible. I'm okay with it. All right. We put one here. And we put one here. Oh, no. I forgot that with this add-on, it puts a bunch of little red dots around hoppers. But that might not be... I don't even think you'll notice that. Yeah, you won't notice that from here. Okay, cool. Look at this. Okay, great. Okay, so as you can see, you've got kind of a lot of life going on. I wonder if... Okay, all right. I'm questioning that cart, though, the hopper. Do we really want the bounce to happen where we can see it, or should we actually put it further? I'm thinking we put it further. Yeah, that's better. That's way better. Way better. Okay. Oh, that looks so great. It gives the illusion that there's actually way more carts there because of the timing of each. You know what I mean? Like it feels randomized. I guess it's technically not, but I didn't do the math, so might as well be randomized to me. I have no earthly idea like the timing of each, but it does kind of give that illusion that there's more of them out there than there actually are. So I think that's great. I think that adds a lot to it. Now the next question is, I guess we could really just kind of fill this up with black concrete, maybe, or actually just kind of stone might be good. Just kind of like a stone background might help. Although I don't think I want it right up against it. I think I would want it more like right here. That'd be good. Now, I've got one other idea for kind of creating life in this space, and that is through the use of redstone lamps, pressure plates. Redstone lamps, pressure plates, and chickens. And the idea is that we line up some lights here and we kind of put a chicken around here so that it kind of moves around a bit from time to time and then kind of gives the sense that, you know, the lights are kind of flickering, like something is happening in the background. This is my thought. It is more of a theory than anything else. But I did something kind of like that with the TIE Bomber when we had our big Mandalorian throwdown. So I think this can work. Of course, just because I think this could work does not mean that it will work. But it'd be a lot cooler if it did. Okay, and I'll tell you what, since we've got this, if we did it kind of like I don't guess we want them always there, but right? I think that's right. Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to see up. Okay, I don't need just a ton of chickens or anything like that, but I do need maybe 2 would probably be good. All right, come on, get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. Yes! Ha-ha! Get lucky, get lucky, look at that. Yeah, there you go. All right, we got 2 in there. And I think if I do this, they can't get out. Why is that guy right there? Okay. Maybe as babies, they can get out. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, we will fix that right away. We know there's at least... See? All right, it's already starting to work. You can kind of see yep, it's kind of going around. Okay, good. That is what we wanted. All right, let's get this wall built. Okay, all right. So we now go in here and yeah, there's kind of some flashing lights here and there. That's kind of cool. We do still need to make sure that this is like mob proof. So I'm just kind of thinking through that as well. We'll need to do something from that standpoint. All right, so we've lit up the room and I think this is pretty good. The roof does not look good. It doesn't look good. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's definitely better. I'm not going to lie. It still kind of feels like something's missing a little bit, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's like wall detail or something of that nature, or if it's like a carpet of some sort, but I don't know. It feels like it needs like 1 or 2 more things. All right, I'm going to do a little tinkering. We'll see what we can come up with. I'm also going to get some sleep because this is a dangerous storm that we have found ourselves in. Oh, I think I did it. I think it looks good. I think it looks pretty good. Look at this. This is great. So I added a whole second conveyor belt, obviously on the top. I created kind of some pipes going back and forth. I got some webs kind of around the place. Now, this is kind of cool because like at the ride, you'll see that there's like been web experiments. So there's like, different, just little web blasts all over the place. And so that I think really adds to the whole experience. Also communicates what you got for sale here. And yeah, I think we did it. But that's not all. You may notice a little bit of green paint on the wall behind me. That is because I also added some general kind of like suggested graffiti around the front portion of the build as well. Now, I maintained kind of the Miles graffiti on the side here, so it's a little cleaner. I may kind of scuff that up and, with like painting some stuff over that. Again, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but I think for now I'm going to keep it as is. I also upgraded the tubes and kind of the ventilation with these little light fixtures. I think that's really good. In the ride itself, or rather even outside of the ride itself, you'll see kind of vents and occasionally like these little spider bots will crawl through them. And so that's kind of meant to communicate that. And then one last thing I did is I kind of gave a little bit of curvature to the edge. This has been something that's kind of bothered me since I actually built the thing. And that is like, it's kind of like I built it for memory, essentially. I had like a little bit of a reference image, and then I kind of just went at it. But then the problem was I realized almost immediately afterwards that while there is a little bit of hard edge here and there, for the most part, there's not. And especially on the corner right here, we needed to kind of, the hard edge was a problem. So this was a little bit of an irritation, to be honest, to do. I had to bump out this wall further, which caused kind of a temporary setback on the mob farm inside. Fortunately, no mobs were lost, and more importantly, I never died during it. So yeah, that's good. I also bumped over the web sign a little bit to the left, and honestly, I think it looks better. I think it looks better closer to the logo than it did before. So ultimately, this upgrade is really, really solid, long overdue, and looking really good. For today, we are heading back to Marvel and getting to work on the Blackbird. Now, you know the Blackbird, right? Like it's da, 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 Oh yeah, you know the Blackbird. It flies in the X-Men, opening theme song and everything. It's how they get around. It's been in all the movies, and I think that is absolutely what's needed, because as cool as having the court there, I almost feel like it's too subtle. Even if we were to put a Blackbird underneath it, I really want something that's more of a statement piece, and that, I believe, is the way to go. It's a tricky build. It's definitely a tricky build, but it's one that I'm really looking forward to, taking a crack at it. I know that Will has actually done a Blackbird before. I think he's done a couple of Blackbirds before and has graciously offered for me to copy his design. But I kind of like making my own designs. I like kind of figuring it out. And so I've been tweaking around with something, and we'll just kind of see how far we get. And let me get into this thing, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so I'm armored up, but that's only because I don't have room in my inventory to put my armor on. I did it. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, from down here, it looks like an arrow that's pointing to the Fantastic Four building, so that's probably not the greatest. It benefits from a distance, and you don't have to just see it from on high to appreciate it, but I do. Let's see. Let's get down to the bottom. Yeah, look, that looks like the Blackbird. And again, we're going for kind of like the cartoon accurate Blackbird as opposed to like the movie accurate Blackbird, which has a bit of a blue hue. I had to make some decisions, and I decided to go full on deep slate, and I think that was the right call. Now, underneath it, if we go into the Blackbird, there's nothing here yet, but I am thinking we add an interior. I think we need the seats. I think we need like a little pilot seat as well. Something that kind of raises you up so you can look out the window would be really, really nice. But it is, admittedly, it's a tricky build. It is a very tricky build. I definitely have a greater appreciation for Will offering for me to copy his, because it's been a bit of a thing figuring it out. But yeah, oh man, I don't know. Like, once you see it as a giant arrow, that's all you can see it as. That was not the case before, but it kind of is now. Like, that's literally all I can see it as. Coming over here, yeah, that's nice. From the side, it looks nice. And honestly, even down below, I think if we go down here, more towards the bridge. Oops, I missed it. Right there. Yeah. Maybe it's the wings. Maybe the wings don't need to have the same level of thickness as the rest of the build. Okay, all right, so I think we need to do some tweaking. I think we need to kind of figure out if we can tweak those wings a little bit, and we're going to work on a bit of an interior, and we'll see how that changes things up. I think it's the wings. Like, I think it's the wings. If we can get the wings right, then I think that takes care of everything, but we'll see. All right, I think I did it, and whoops. Oh, hey, ta-da. Yeah, that looks right. Right? Okay, let's get in a little bit closer and take a look at some of the changes here. So right off the bat, you may already be able to notice I flattened the wings a little bit. They're not totally flat, but I've made them a lot slimmer as opposed to giving it the full size of the rest of the plane. And I also kind of bulked up the sides with the jets right here. And even though it's subtle, you have to be kind of like close in to see some of the details. I think that's fine. I think the general kind of roundedness does come through even on the ground floor. And then peeking in, you can kind of see, ta-da! Okay, we have an interior. It's not a very detailed interior, but we've got some suits. We've got a little, kind of not window, what do you call this thing? A little drop hanger type situation. We've got seating, and of course, we've got the pilot seat right here and ready to go. You can look out the window, which is nice. Oh yeah, this is looking right. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. Okay, this is good. I was getting worried there. I was definitely getting worried. Woo! But I think we did it. I really do. I think that is a blackbird singing in the dead of night. That's the wrong song. The right song would be da da da. Okay, all right. I should probably do something. From the base, does it still look like an arrow? Yes, of course it does. It's the shape of an arrow, okay? So yes, it's going to have some of that. But I do think with the details on the bottom, and I do think kind of the depth of the wings changing, it looks more like what it's actually supposed to look like as opposed to what it's not. So I am very pleased with how this turned out. It's been a while actually since I've been here. I am in the Gamma Lab in the Marvel District. That's right. This is a build I'm pretty proud of, especially with the interior, because it definitely tells the story of some sort of experimentation that has gone wrong and something has gotten away. Busting right out the side of the building. It's the most appropriate location, I think, to start this week's episode because we are going to be doing something a little similar. We're going to be taking a build and telling a little bit of a story with it. Not the Gamma Lab, but the PIM building. Yes, I teased this up a little bit last week, but we're going to be actually making a little action happen here at the PIM building. This is maybe not so shockingly my least favorite of all my builds so far this season, and I want to fix that. I want to fix it so bad. Like, originally it was the big white box, and then we put these kind of PIM particles in here, and that definitely helps to an extent, but it's just not enough. It needs more. It needs something that really is going to make it stand out and make it not just a big white box. That's my hope. That is absolutely my hope for today. But before we do that, I want to actually show you what my original idea was for this, especially because it's probably not going to happen. So inside the PIM building, we've been selling Skulk, and that's fine. I will probably actually be moving the Skulk to a new shop in the Harry Potter district, but for now, we're just going to keep it as is. It doesn't make any sense that we would sell Skulk here, except that I did use it for kind of the PIM particles eroding away at the building. But really, this was just going to be a temporary front for what is beyond this point. Because you see, I actually intended to make a roller coaster. Well, okay, so a roller coaster, a ride experience, a hidden shop, that sort of thing. The idea here was going to be that you were going to enter into the PIM building. Instead of this little small box area, it was going to be kind of more of a lab, and there would be a place for you to be able to go on the experience of, well, experiencing what it's like to be Ant-Man. That's right. I was going to shrink you. That was the goal here. You were going to shrink down and go on this kind of journey. And, oh, hi. Look at that. It looks like somebody is wanting to test out the roller coaster. I'm afraid not, my friend. Let's get you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think it's safe to test this. It's actually been a long time since I've done this. But regardless, this whole back end you would not see. It would all have been covered up. But ideally, you would be here, and you would press this button, and it would start you on this journey. There we go. And the idea was it was preparing you to get shrunken down. Yeah, here we go. You go up here, turn around, and ta-da! You had this big laser right here as everything was going to light up around you right before you hit the laser. And then, then you were going to fall down into like another layer below the ground that was going to be kind of a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of experience where everything was going to be larger and you were going to be small and I was going to sell stuff down there. And that was kind of the idea behind it. Cool idea, but requires a much bigger brain than mine. And while I am kind of pleased with how the little like shrinking laser looks, I'm definitely not going to do this. Yep, it's not happening. So I don't even know if anybody ever like poked around back here and figured out that was what was going to be the PIM building. But you know what? Now you know, and you didn't before. So there you go. But today we are actually going to be doing something on the exterior. And my vision is essentially I'm looking to make it so that things continue to go wrong here at PIM Industries, PIM Headquarters, PIM Sciences, PIM Technologies. Yeah, I can't actually remember what the name of the company is. Anyway, the PIM building. I want things to be going bad here. And it's not just that these little PIM particles are eating away at the building. I want to have Ant-Man become Giant Man from inside the building, and he's bursting forth at the top. Yeah, that's the goal. That's what we're going for. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be cool. Now, I'm not really great at making things look really good in terms of like real life, like organic type builds. So we're going to be using the mindset that Ant-Man looks like us, right? He's going to be, it's like a guy in a Minecraft skin, and the Minecraft skin is Ant-Man. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be that, but on a giant level, bursting forth through the roof. We might have some pieces of the building down here and all that kind of good stuff. And that is the goal. Kind of like we did over here. Now you can see why I wanted to start the video over here. This is, it's kind of like this, except it won't be as small. It's got to be bigger. It's got to be gianter, if you will. And so, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but I think I can do it. I hope I can do it. Let's just jump into it. Let me see how far I can get. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, I don't think you're ready. Let's take a look. Ta-da! Oh, yeah. Ant-Man is having some problems. Yes. Oh, it looks so good. Okay. This turned out way better than I actually anticipated a little bit, if I'm being totally honest, because I was a little worried that because I was going for, a very like in-universe, if you will, blocky Minecraft skin type approach to Ant-Man, I thought, maybe it's not going to look as cool. Oh no. It looks even cooler. It just looks right. Oh, yes. Okay. Man, oh man, oh man. When I think about how much I have been dissatisfied with this PIM building and how awesome it is now that Ant-Man is busting out of the top. Oh, and look at this. There has been some damage. Some pieces of the PIM building have in fact fallen to the street because of this little mishap that, well, I keep saying Ant-Man, but I guess technically Giant Man has been having here at the PIM building. And this is my favorite type of build and improvement because it effectively and actively changes the skyline of Fancraft a little bit. Certainly the skyline of the Marvel District. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, you're about to see. So I always try to think of what things look like from the snow globe. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so technically when you spawn in for the first time on Fancraft, you technically arrive above the roof, and it's a bit of a problem we need to figure out, but that's a problem for another time. Anyway, actually, this isn't the worst place to spawn into Fancraft now that I think about it. This is a pretty good view of a lot of different things. Yeah, this is nice. I like this. I like this a lot. But it's not the only thing I like. It's not the only view of this I like. Because if I head right over here into my office at the lore office, right up here. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's right over there. Oh man, it's so good. Oh man, this is sized so right. Oh yes. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. That's just great. So I suppose there is kind of a question of, do we make a significant change to the interior now that the exterior has had this vast improvement? I mean, as I mentioned, we sell Skulk, but maybe we need to sell something different in here. And I'm probably going to eradicate this whole roller coaster system or just ride system in general. It's not worth it. Oops. It's just not worth it. It doesn't do what I want it to. And besides, I think the killer app, so to speak, is right above me. Yeah, maybe a problem for the future.